Say hi.
Hi, it's me, Joa.
Who's Joa?
I was the mysterious voice that said last time on Dice Funk last season.
What else have you done?
I also did the credits.
What are credits? Like, I hit in the head. I don't know what credits are anymore.
The credits are the...
You don't know either. It's such a mystery.
I hate you so much.
What are credits?
It's the list of all the awesome Patreon supporters.
Wait, you mean that thing at the end of the episode that goes for like half an hour?
Yeah, it was getting longer and longer. The long list of names of Patreon supporters of Dice Funk.
So what do we do?
We made it its own show, and it's great. Lauren and I dick around a lot, and we say dumb jokes, and...
Talk about my pussy.
we do.
If you want to talk about my pussy, it only costs $5. That's patreon.com/Austin Yorsky. If you want to get on that list, just change your Patreon name to whatever you want us to say, and they'll say it, unless it's racist, in which case they'll just say Black Lives Matter and make fun of you.
And keep an eye out for my voice later in this season.
Wake up to the job of the bell. No sweat, now I'm feeling swell. Gee golly, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna burn my troubles away. I'm going nuclear. Light up the town. The walls that hold me. I'm melting down. I'm rising up like a mushroom cloud. I'm going nuclear. Light up this town. That's right.
I arrived at this episode horny.
This is going to be the most chaste episode.
So last we left this adventure, the party defeated an elemental that was infesting the wood of an old library they found on the salt flats. And instead of killing it because it's a monster and we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, they attempted to befriend it. And I guess I rage quit kind of out of the recording at that point. I don't remember. Everything went dark and I woke up in a pool of blood in the woods. So someone else, anybody else remember how that actually ended up?
Okay, so we have a clam now.
How it ended is we're calling it Beans.
Oh, see, I prepared maybe some alternative options by looking up actors named Sam.
Oh, please.
Consider Clamuel L. Jackson,
Oh, that's pretty good.
Clam Neal, Clam Elliott, Clam Rockwell.
Okay, for the audience, yes, we know that abalone are snails, not clams. I'm sorry for
Sounds like
everything
the
she's
snails.
saying. Please don't comment.
So you're correct, but also Alexander Clamilton was on the table, and therefore clam puns just
That is very good.
they're where we're at.
I mean, their shells 100% look like half of a clam shell, which is where the confusion came in. They're mollusks.
I do quite like your Clamuel L. Jackson there. I think that's a pretty good one.
I was considering King Big Papadopoulos.
Oh, Christian Snail.
Then I fade away.
Christian
Snail's
Snail.
not bad.
Christian Snail. I'm never gonna stop
Okay,
saying
Christian
it.
Snail.
Christian Snail is very good.
I like Christian Snail and Clamuel Jackson. Those are both very good.
You don't have to let me steal the name from you, Laura. It's your guy. It's your baby.
No, it's not. I'm trapped under the floor. I have no part in
I was
this.
gonna say it was we slammed the mask on top of it, and now it's inside.
Yeah, so like the cold open of the episode is just like smash cut into the mascot head, which is that clam-looking shell of this abalone character, and inside is like the writhing elemental that you all defeated, and then like in the background you see the team ripping up the floor trying to get fucking Vindrass out of there. So why don't let's just jump in character and see where the conversation takes y'all.
Hey everyone.
Are you okay, Vindrass?
I've been better. Did I help?
Oh, you've saved us all.
Oh, I'm glad I could help. It's not great down here. It's not great down here. Is the tiny child not near the hole where you're digging me out of the floor full of bodies?
Oh, a hole full of bodies.
I've seen skeletons before. They are pictures in books.
Yes, they're just pictures in books. And why don't you just go hang out with the clam out there?
No, I don't want to. I want to see what's in the hole.
All right, let's find a stick and we'll poke it with the stick. Come on, let's go. Let's go find a stick. We love doing this back home. Not much for entertaining on the farm, you know. You find a dead thing, you just poke it with a stick. It's kind of amusing. Maybe the flies get angry.
Stand by me too.
So Khorton lifts Vindrass the rest of the way out of the hole and
Okay, let me poke dead bodies, Conrad.
oh, go ahead, poke. Nobody's I'm not here to make you. Don't look at me.
I don't know. I thought it was you. So Lola's gonna poke a dead body with Sabrina and be like, see why it's all puffy? It's because when you die, gases.
What are the gases?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Is it like methane? Do you fart yourself to death?
It's not. It's after you're dead, so at least you don't have to deal with the shame of farting yourself to death.
Huh. This is useful information.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you like it.
It really is the final fart when you think about it, isn't it?
Oh, fuck, episode name.
No.
Yes, the final fart now.
Can it be the episode title if we translate it into like French, so it's like Le Petit something?
No, Le Petit is small. You're talking about the
small.
little death, Le Petit Mort. That's something else.
It's called coming.
Thanks, Lauren.
Ooh, you're welcome. In case anybody didn't know.
Well, this took a turn.
You're welcome. What is French would just be fin, right? For final?
I mean, yeah, what is French for fart?
Final.
That's
Pet. Le pet final is apparently how you say it. I just Google Translate.
pet final.
Le pet final.
Le Petoman. Is that it? No, that's a guy whose name was the fart.
What if I change it to... Everything sounds better in Latin. What if I make it Latin?
Hold
The
on,
library
I tried to look-
explodes, killing everyone.
Let me tell you some stuff. I tried to look up French fart and I got Le Petoman. And he was Joseph Pujol from 1857, 1945. That's when he was alive. And so that was like his stage name. Was like
Well,
fart
it's all
maniac.
well and good when Austin does a bunch of research, but when we try to do a bunch of research,
Why are you trying to keep knowledge from the people?
Supremum crepitu is what happens when you fart yourself to death. Scientifically speaking.
There were no survivors.
We're all adults
So
here.
I genuinely don't remember where we're supposed to be going from here. There's a big wall of glass, right?
Hold on. Can I put the helmet on? I want to talk to. I forgot the name of the character.
That will just eat your head, right?
Okay, you pick up the mascot's head, you look inside, and there is a humanoid, a small, pulpy mass so with vaguely arms and legs and like a little body and a little head. It kind of looks like...
Have you ever seen the mandrake roots that look like little fat babies?
Oh yeah, a little bit like that. I was gonna say like a child's doll, but made out of wood pulp. This is like a basically a pulp elemental. It's like a subdivision of like carbon elementals, which are made out of like the building blocks of life. You all failed repeatedly. I gave you, I think, a nature and like a history check or something. Multiple times I tried to give you checks for this. Everyone failed everything last episode because that's the kind of day it was. So you really don't know much about this thing. But Sabrina, you look at it, and before you drop this on your head, you're pretty sure this thing doesn't have language. It's an elemental. So...
Well, I speak elemental. Well, I speak primordial.
Correct. You do that.
So can I speak to it in primordial?
Sure. You put the mascot head onto your own head, and now it's like pushed up against your face. This like globby, like almost like phlegmy mess, and it's like squirming against you.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
You got real cockney.
Because I'm smashing my hand against my face full effect.
Okay, fair.
Vindrass is immediately getting first aid supplies ready in case this goes badly.
Yeah, the rest of you see Sabrina put the head on, and you just hear like weird gurgling noises from inside because this thing is like wet, and now it's in her mouth and her nose, and it's not going to be right for her. She's trying to talk to it. Elementals cannot speak. So
I'm proud of you, Brina. That's how you talk to nature. You just gotta put your face in it.
I order you to talk to me, friend.
Well, that doesn't usually work.
Sabrina, can you give me an animal handling? It's not an animal. It's an elemental, but fuck it.
Yeah, but since it's not an animal, would I get advantage?
Oh my god.
Because she's a royal. Does she get advantage?
So I ignored that part and I rolled an 11.
Okay. An 11's not very good. It's average. Here's what I'll say.
Some would say above average.
When I was in Laura's charity live stream, the chat the entire time was asking for advantage.
Yeah, there was 100 people just asking, like, can I have advantage? Because my comment was written in all caps. Just whatever they could get away with with getting advantage for.
It's a terrible precedent I've set. It's mostly my fault. You don't know any better. You're a child.
Oh, so I would get advantage. And okay, well, I got a 17.
No, you didn't. Chris,
What if I
Chris,
just lied,
please.
told you I got the 17 originally and you erase your information?
So you got an 11, Chris.
So with animal handling, you don't injure it, and it doesn't injure you. That's what I'm going to give you for average. I think you basically know that this thing can't really communicate any more than like a fire elemental can, which is just like a fire that like wants to run around and destroy stuff, or a water elemental, which is just like a bunch of water. So you can keep this elemental with the party if you want, but because it's a wood pulp elemental, it needs wood to survive, so you're gonna have to feed it. It's another mouth to feed. Although if you do encounter wood-based obstacles on your journey, you will have an extreme advantage.
Yeah, obviously then. That's gonna happen.
And seeing as there's not, a preponderance of metal in the world, being able to destroy a bunch of wood seems like a pretty good thing to have around.
Are you ready for the responsibility of having to feed your pet regularly?
I have a pet now. They wouldn't let me have one. The father would never let me have one back in the castle.
Did you at least get like a training plant?
I got nothing and liked it.
Oh, you must be having a terrible childhood. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm still in it, so I guess it's not done yet.
It can only go up from here.
Yay.
So I guess for the rest of the campaign, Sabrina, you're going to carry around this mascot head, and there's going to be like a pulpy guy kind of slithering out of the shell.
And none of the rest of us are going to take any responsibility.
Yeah, why is this on Sabrina? She just jumped to the head of the queue and decided it was hers?
Well, it was her helmet.
And Khorton is in the process. I was waiting for a pause. Khorton's going to go start pulling up any, board fragments and things that'd be easy to carry and pack so that there is a supply of food from here to take with us.
Yeah, we've already got the bits of wood that we pulled out the floor to get me out.
Yeah.
I'ma feed it my poking stick.
Actually, Khorton rolled nature.
Okay.
Does he not know what wood is?
We're about to find out.
Botch.
Trust me. Trust me. Khorton, if there's anybody, Khorton knows wood. 18.
That's very good. I'm going to say, Khorton, you notice most of the floorboards here have actually been stripped of the nutritional value by this thing by now. Mm-hmm. While I was waiting for future victims, I guess is the word I wanted there. But because you rolled so well, I'm going to say you do find some boards that the elemental was saving for later. So you have some food you can keep on you for it. This is fun because in many D&D campaigns, you can actually track things like rations and water and like sleep schedules and who's taking first watch. You can do like a very simulation-y, almost like camping simulator kind of game. We're not going to do that, but because this is a harsh environment, we're occasionally going to have to talk about food and water. Yeah. And now you've added more difficulty for yourself, which is fun.
You say that. It's not like pieces of wood were going to be food for the rest of us. It's not like we're having to share our rations of eating wood with this thing.
It is, having to look for something else, but that's,
Let's go to the glass forest.
Okay, why are we going through the big thing made of all the pointy glass and terribleness?
Because it's the fastest way to get there.
I mean, but is it worth it?
Yes.
I'm sure it's also the most murdery and full of giant shards of glass.
But you just survived being murdered. That means you're indestructible.
What?
I don't even know where to start with that one.
Then don't, and just go with me to the forest.
If nothing else, she doesn't know how to respond, and as such, I think she's okay. Fine, we're with the stupid plan.
Sabrina, do you just leave the library and expect them to follow you?
Yep.
All right. Why don't we roll survival to leave the Wormwood Library and head towards the Glass Forest? Everyone who wants to participate.
Can we have advantage because we have a mascot now?
I got an 18.
I got a 9.
I got a 17.
I got a 6.
All right. Actually, half the party succeeds, so the party passes. Vindrass and Sabrina.
Yay.
We're the best.
You don't really need to do too much navigating. If you go east, you will eventually get to the forest. But with these successes, you can see like potential pitfalls ahead of you and avoid them. Maybe some guard patrols. You know that the God King's forces are out here on the flats and you can be encountered at any time. So successes are very good for that. What do you guys talk about on the way there? Because right now, Sabrina is basically blackmailing you to come with her and protect her. And she said if you don't, she's going to turn you in, which is kind of a harsh thing. So do you have any thoughts about that?
I don't got anything better to do.
So definitely hanging far enough back that Sabrina's not listening in. Vindrass is going to sort of sidle over to Khorton and be like, What's the plan? What's the plan here? How long before we skedaddle away from this?
Well, there's nothing here for us this close to the God King's home anyway. We do need to keep moving.
Indeed. And I suppose there's nothing that's... It's not like she's being a hindrance yet.
Not yet.
Yet, being the operative word.
She wants to play leader for now. It's fine. But I worry she's going to get someone badly injured.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can only do so much patching up. If this child runs face first into, oh, it's some very, very, very bad people, but it's fine. I'm the hero child. There's only so much that we can do if she runs straight into a very bad situation.
Well, I suppose if she wanders us into one of the patrols and, has to face that, and it's pointed out that she led us right to it, problem solved.
Okay, so Khorton and Vindrass conspire to eventually demoralize Sabrina out of her leadership after her first failure. That's a very exciting stake to have in the background here. I will say, as you're walking across the salt flats, you notice the ground actually has some geometric shapes in it. It's almost like, because of the way that salt crystals form, it almost looks like there are tiles on the ground, which may be very disconcerting for you. And it's in fact that this geometric shaping becomes so regular that with your successes on the survival roll, Vindrass and Sabrina notice some places where people have passed through, and you you succeeded. So instead of this being confusing and scary, you realize that this was a small group, maybe only 1 or 2 people, and you can follow these tracks at a safe distance. And eventually you see in the distance what appears to be a collapsed person up on the flat ahead of you.
I want to go look.
All right, what skill would you like to roll? Investigation or perception? One assumes. Investigation? All right.
I'm going to go with investigation. That's better for me.
All right, roll it.
I mean, I'm going to also, because I'm going to stay by
I got
baby.
a 7.
Bad.
Oh, I'm not going to help the baby. I'm sorry, baby.
Can I do a thing to help the child? Investigation is an intelligence check, isn't it? Can I cast enhance ability to give advantage on that?
Read enhance ability to the audience.
I touch a creature and bestow a magical enchantment upon that creature. There are many different ones that can be done, mostly for get advantage on different types of checks. Fox's Cunning is give a creature advantage on intelligence checks for how long? For up to an hour.
Okay, thank you. That's very good. So I get to roll with advantage. Yeah. Fuck you, Austin. I get advantage now.
You sure do. Hey, look, there's a way you can actually do it within the game rules.
Well, I got a 6, so I get double advantage, right?
No.
I'm just going to roll again.
The one time we legitimately earn advantage.
7. Damn. Well, here's the thing. I've rolled all the bad rolls out. So now if someone rolls, they're going to get a good roll.
I mean, I rolled a 3 to help you, so.
So the party comes across a body laying face down on the plains, and Sabrina just goes running off to go check on it. Vindrass, you reach out quickly and like grab at her, sleeve, and fast enough to get an enchantment on her to make her make smarter decisions. But her her childlike wonder, I almost said stupidity, a very easy mistake to make, is too much, and it does not give her enough intelligence to make a better choice. And she runs up and begins like looking over the body, and I think she steps in a bear trap that has fallen out of this person's backpack.
Oh no.
Boop. 3 damage. Crunch. Everyone, you hear Sabrina scream and fall over next to this person. What do you do?
I'm gonna poke him with my poking stick.
All right, Lola, you run up to the body and you poke it with a stick. It does not move. Sabrina's on the ground and her ankle is crushed.
Attempt to open this thing somehow. Can I...
Strength.
Okay, sure. 12.
That is actually enough. Yeah, these are designed to be opened by people. So that is actually, in fact, exactly what is supposed to be done here. And so, Vindrass, you reach down, you use 2 of your arms to like steady it, and then 2 to spread it back open, and it is off your ankle, Sabrina.
Thank you. Is it made of metal?
It is made out of like bones, actually.
Oh,
that's very cool.
I want to check this person. Why do they have that?
You roll this person over, and it is a dwarf, and they do not respond in any way to you doing this. They roll over and they stay unconscious, as far as you can tell.
Can I check for a pulse?
Medicine.
Very good. Very good.
Can Vindrass, who does...
I got a 2.
Can Vindrass also come
I got
have
a
look at
2.
medicine?
I got a 9.
I got a 2. Do I have a heartbeat?
15.
And 14 for Khorton.
All right, 14 and 15. I think Lola and Sabrina start pawing at this dwarf and doing nothing. Khorton runs over and Vindrass says "Hey, help me stabilize this guy. Like, you have the medical knowledge and he has, and you have like the rapport with him to actually do medicine. You take this person's pulse and they are dead.
Well, these things happen.
Okay, and now we're going to start removing his clothes and taking all of his possessions off of his body.
What I roll to loot?
All right, before we loot, I want to give you, because you succeeded on the medicine check, I want to give you one more thing. There are no wounds on this person's body, and there are no signs of malnutrition or dehydration. This person looks like they could just wake up at any moment, except for the one thing, which is that they are dead.
Well...
So they either died very recently or very mysteriously. Or both.
Well, if they had a trap on them, then they would have to have been hunting something, wouldn't they?
What kills with what beast kills with no wound?
I guess I would need to roll an Arcana check to find that out.
Say history.
Yeah, roll history. Roll history.
Better. God damn it.
Fuck, God damn it.
Chris, you get advantage because it's still
14.
within an hour on an intelligence check.
Oh boy, Vindrass is the best.
I got a 6.
I got a 13.
You're really not making great use of those advantages I'm giving you, Chris.
It's all about statistics. One day it's going to happen. It's going to be real big.
Okay, so Lola got a 14 and Sabrina got a 13, which is enough of a success. It's a partial success beating the 10 DC for me to say this. You have heard of things like this before. I think, Lola, you might have even seen it because you came out to the Glass Forest before. That's where you met Stuart. I think you might have seen just a body here or there on the way with no wounds. And so you've heard of something like this. I think, Sabrina, you may have heard gossip in the God King's court to the effect that if you go to sleep on the salt, you don't wake up.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, good thing you've got me with you all because I just don't sleep. So it's fine. I'll be okay.
So that's all you know because you only got a 13 and a 14. But this dwarf is dead and you don't need to roll to loot. We've already rolled so very much today. I will say that
Now you don't want us to roll.
no, there just isn't a good roll for this because nothing's stopping you. There's no like additional
true.
difficulty. It's just time. I would say that you find water and food in this person's belongings, which means that that's going to be taken care of for the time being. Like I said earlier, we're not keeping track of rations and water. It's just every once in a while I will introduce like a complication where we deal with it, and this is one of them. You have succeeded, and you're not going to die yet.
Thanks.
And you have wood for Christian Snail.
If we have to not fall asleep in the salt flats, how's the day coming along? Like how we're not at a point in the day yet where we have to worry about everyone's gonna need a nap.
Actually, I'd say night is going to fall pretty soon, actually. You had a big day. You guys did not sleep at the library.
Does anybody have Adderall?
Well, we need to find some kind of shelter.
What do I roll to have coffee beans on me because my last name is Beans?
Roll bullshit with disadvantage.
Can we make a survival roll to try and find some kind of shelter to camp for the night?
The party already succeeded on their survival to cross from the Wormwood Library to the Glass Forest. So I don't want to make you do that again. Is there another skill maybe that you could use here?
Perception, I guess?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Arcana sounds right too, doesn't it?
15.
All right, 13.
Hey, we went in order. 12,
Oh,
13,
that's
14,
fun.
15. That means you have to give us a bonus.
Chris,
In the rule book, I'm a DM.
Chris, please, my friend, please, Chris.
See, Chris would know this. He did DM a thing recently. He knows
Yeah.
the rules. He's
I read the
them.
book. Yep. I want to kiss you on the nose, Austin. Mwah.
I would say so. With this success, you know that because especially Lola, who has been to the Glass Forest before, that the salt doesn't cover all the ground there, and you think there will be safe places to sleep in there if you hurry up now, and you might be able to get there in time. That's probably the best chance. There may be shelters out here, but with only one person beating 15, you do not succeed well enough to know that.
What do we roll to gotta go fast?
Constitution saving throw to everyone to strip the dwarf clean and just take off running.
Boo!
4.
Ooh, wow, yeah.
Well,
Oh my god!
4, 5, 6. Oh, no, it's
3, 4, 5,
6.
Yeah. Well, see, we have to get a bonus.
A bonus
rolls.
for the bots, yeah. A more failure
Oh,
than.
no.
Oh, no.
He turned it against
Well,
us.
okay, I'll say this. If the botch means that Vindrass perhaps isn't going to make it to that shelter before night falls, Vindrass isn't going to fall asleep, so it's fine. It's fine. No punishment for the botch. It's all, I fixed it, Austin.
that's a spicy meat.
Okay, so you succeeded on your survival checks. So I'm not going to surprise you. Rather, your success on the survival check is going to give you a choice of how this botch fucks you. As you come over a ridge on the plain and you see the glass forest ahead of you, and it does live up to its name. It is a forest composed of glass trees, which should not be possible. We'll talk about that in a second. The important thing is you see it before you that there is a patrol of the God King soldiers on one side that you would have to sneak or fight your way past, or you could go a longer way around, which you see will take you through part where the crust of the salt flats has collapsed down into a short creek of muddy seabed that has been exposed. Remember before when Vindrass crushed through and landed on a narwhal corpse and got impaled. So there's this part where the crust has broken open and you see all this stuff living under it. It's just things are crawling like centipedes and beetles, and there's detritus and metal. And so you can crawl through this trench to get to the forest, or you could try to get past the soldiers. The botches, one of these things is going to happen to you, but the success on the survival means you get to pick.
I think what would make sense is if Sabrina picks which one we do,
Yep.
because obviously team leader.
Yeah, and if it fails, then you get to shame her into quitting being the leader. It's all coming together.
Well, it's a bit of A, bit of B, but obviously, yeah, whatever consequence it's gonna land on Vindrass, but
we have to defer to our leader and to make these difficult decisions.
So there's the smart thing to do. And then the second one's just a bunch of blood and guts and monster, like bugs and shit.
The crust of the salt plain has been broken open, and you see exposed under it what used to be the bed of this ocean and all of the stuff that comes with, which is just like wrecked ships and all kinds of subterranean creatures and like corpses and broken weapons and stuff. It's just like you have to crawl through a very bad ditch.
Yeah, that sounds really bad. I'm gonna say we're gonna go where we could potentially find people because we can get out of that.
All right. So, Sabrina, tell the group what your plan is to get past these soldiers.
We'll just sneak past all of them.
I'm sure that will go very well, and I definitely won't have botch punishments for doing so that will fuck this up.
Well, if you're worried about it, I could just make you invisible.
I feel like somehow the universe will find a way to punish me regardless.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on Vindrass.
All right, read that for the audience.
So I'm gonna turn a creature I touch invisible until the spell ends, which is for an hour, and anything they're wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on their person. But if they attack or cast a spell, then it stops. So you can't start picking fights.
But I can take damage and not lose my invisibility, right?
That's correct.
Cool. Okay, I feel like that's going to be
Just
important.
don't shout out, ow, because then people will know. Because the wind doesn't say ouch. It goes owie.
So the group is going to do stealth rolls now, except for Vindrass, who automatically passes.
Do I get advantage if I go on Stuart's tummy?
The next person who asks for advantage is going to get kicked in the heart.
You couldn't see me down
in
there.
your body,
Okay,
not in the chest.
I got a 22, Austin.
what are we rolling again? Constitution?
Stealth.
Stealth, that makes sense.
Jesus.
I got a 2.
I was trying to be obnoxious. Sorry. 14.
All right, so we got a 22 and a pass from Vindrass, who is invisible. So the party succeeds. Narrate to me how you get past these soldiers. So picture there's like a small company, right? So I don't know, 20 guards dressed up in actually pretty light armor, all things considering, because of the need to stay hydrated out here. You can't really be walking around in super heavy armor. And they're marching in these really loose ranks up and down the edge of the forest, patrolling it. So how do you slip past?
So guards are essentially cops, right?
Yes.
So I want to throw like a snowball at them, but because my stealth was so good, they can't see me. So they immediately just start, because of their violent nature, just start attacking each other and just in a violent eruption, basically. And they're too distracted, beating each other up to see us.
Okay, Sabrina, where did you become woke? How did that happen?
It's always been there, baby.
Yes. So of course, the history of policing is that rich people paid other people to beat up poor people for them, and that eventually evolved into police, and that's what we have now. So these are basically like larval police, the idea of guards.
Ew.
And so Sabrina, you sneak by, you throw a projectile into their midst, and one of them thinks like the other one's a traitor and stabs him, and then his friend stabs that guy, and all of a sudden they're just all stabbing the shit out of each other, which is very funny.
There you go. Fuck those guys. Glass forest.
That's so dark for a 10-year-old.
I was like, Lola's gonna do some jug music in the background.
Oh, so wait. So I like to imagine, so you enter the edge of the forest, and there's the sound of people stabbing each other behind you, and like Lola, you like look back, peering like towards them, and you just pull out your jug very slowly and just do a little tune as you watch them die.
Yeah, it's like movie music for ambiance.
You're a sick little gecko, huh?
Everything's a little better with music.
So you've seen the glass.
Like, is it?
You've seen the glass forest from a distance, but I didn't describe it too much because the part of the problem here is that light plays havoc with glass. And so
Oh.
it's almost like blinding to look at from a distance, as it's just like this sea of light reflecting and refracting through these glass trees. As you get into it, and there's parts of it that for various reasons, the angles and so forth, is more shading you underneath them, you can see more clearly. So now that you're in the glass forest under the canopy, you see it's almost like you're walking through like a undulating living rainbow in here.
It's kind of cool.
There's trees for sure, but the light is playing through and bouncing off and swirling around all of them. It's like hypnotic. And Lola, you've been here before. Can you actually tell everyone, what were you doing here? Were you just looking for animals to befriend?
Yeah, I just, I had an appetite for petting some new animals, so just, packed up the sack, came to the forest. Bad idea, but I did find Stuart, so.
Yeah, this place is actually renowned for having a very interesting menagerie of unique animals, things that aren't found anywhere else. And I think in universe, none of you quite grasp how strange it is for trees to be made of glass, because this is just the world you've always lived in. But for obviously the players and the audience, something has happened to like the laws of physics in this world. Whatever apocalyptic event happened didn't just like destroy some things in like a cool Mad Max way. Like the rules are changed in some horrifying way that we haven't really grasped yet, because like as far as we know, only carbon can create the bonds necessary to sustain life, and glass is made of silicon. So this is to us completely like even beyond magic, right? For you it's just like kind of cool, but for us it's like something is happening here.
I wonder what could have happened. What?
Laura broke the world.
I may have broken the world, but like it's fine. I got to have a little pocket world where I could play video games, so it was all worth it.
Does anybody want to talk about Sabrina's leadership? Because she flawlessly got you here, and all of you are pretty much safe, and you have food, you have a new friend. Like, she's actually killing it?
Yeah, she actually is.
I mean, she hasn't. Not only is she not fucked up yet, she has actively helped.
Then we have nothing to worry about, do we?
Good job, Brina. Woo! Proud of you.
Thank you. No one's ever complimented me before.
I mean, like I'm of similar stature, but I don't think I could have led a party, and I'm like an adult.
Hey, you know how you just stealthed us all into here? That's just the kind of thing a white wolf would do.
That's what white wolves would do. I'm the white wolf.
That is, you sure white wolfed?
They're a lone wolf, but they still help the pack. I'm great.
You've kept us all safe. That's all we ask.
Oh, we got a mascot.
At this point, you've fed Clamuel L. Jackson enough wood that he's recovered, or I don't know what even pronouns this thing takes. And you've fed them enough wood that they're no longer like in danger of dying, because Khorton did like mortally wound it. But now you fed him and kind of nursed him back to health, and he's like wiggling inside the head a little bit.
Do you know what kind of environment pulp elementals have? Do they need like leaves inside? Should I put leaves inside the hat?
Do you think we can make it teach it how to talk?
You all are really hung up on this thing talking, huh?
I'm just gonna keep talking to it until it does.
I know you all want to recreate Winifred and Objectivist or whatever, but I think you befriended the wrong NPC.
No, our pulp baby is amazing.
It's gonna talk about it.
Well, no, we learned our lesson last season, which is you don't befriend the cute thing, because it's just going to break everyone's heart and be horrible.
This is like half cute, half terrifying. Yeah. So
this is like the hermit crab of,
it is.
Ooh, are you going to find a different mascot head later and transfer it?
Yeah, we're gonna upgrade.
Yeah, if he gets bigger.
We're gonna find whatever the mascot of the Gorefields is, and we're gonna put old Clamuel Jackson in there.
That's another thing. So Sabrina, you want the whole party to get through the glass forest, but they don't know where you're going. Is anybody gonna ask her? Because the audience can look at the map and see that on the other side of the glass forest, there are 3 locations marked. There is a spa, there is a city, and there is something ominously labeled the Gore Fields, which Chris very much likes. Where is Sabrina going, and how do you convince them to come with you?
Hey, Brina, where are we going after this?
We're gonna go to the city, because that's where all the people are. So if you're looking for something, you could ask there, for example.
Okay. I mean, I ain't got nothing better to do.
Are you looking for something, for example, that you could ask people around for?
Maybe. And you're gonna see her hand instinctively go to her neck.
Maybe I can find a sweater for porcupines. I bet
Yeah.
Stuart would like that.
I bet they have those there. Let's change the topic. I bet they
Oh,
have
you know
porcupine
how
sweaters.
Dogs sometimes have little rain boots. Maybe I could find some of those. He gets his paws wet.
And socks. Wouldn't that be cute?
No, you don't want socks in the wet.
They look so cute. Little sockies.
Have you ever had a wet sock?
All my socks are wet.
Oh no.
I'm very icy.
Are your socks wet now?
No, they're dry with the heat of leadership.
Well, okay. I believe that.
I think at this point, Lola, you notice that Stuart has fallen behind the group, and you go back and look at him, and he is eating some kind of strange fruit that has fallen off of one of these trees, and he is making happy porcupine noises.
What I roll to know what fruit is? Nature?
That's the fruit roll, yeah. The fruit roll up.
7. I'm like, looks good. Blip, blip, blip.
No, actually with a 7, I think you're like, oh no, must stop him.
Oh, it's like when you have to like get something out of a dog's mouth and you like open it up and you just like pull open the snout to get it out.
Yeah, and he rolls up into a ball and continues eating the fruit.
Can I cast a spell?
I can't stop you.
I want to cast command
Oh god.
on the porcupine.
Does that work on animals?
It says a creature you can see within range.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I'm going to point my finger very authoritatively. Say, stop!
Animals have low wisdom, 10. So, yep, Stuart fails and drops the fruit.
Oh, I gotta learn how to do that.
Stuart, like, plods up to you, oh, Lola, looking sad, and, like, flops at your feet, making hungry noises.
I could purify food and drink for you, and that might help.
Oh, why didn't you say so earlier?
That's a thing I can do. That is an option.
So night's falling on the glass forest, so I think at this point, you all are going to set up camp and go to sleep here. Vindrass, you can purify, like, the fruit off these trees. They are, like, crystalline structures that come off of the glass branches, but you can, once you crack them open, there's actually, like, edible flesh inside.
Yeah, just to be safe, that'll be purify food and drink, which will make sure that this, at the very least, isn't poisonous or diseased. Which is a good start.
A thing you have to watch out for are the pine needles here, which are very sharp. I think dexterity saving throw, everyone, not to nick yourself on the pine needles.
Okie dokie.
16.
Success.
8.
Failure.
11.
Success.
22 with the crit.
Whoa.
Actually, with a crit, I want to say that you can help Lola stop from nicking herself, and everybody can pass with a crit.
Absolutely.
All right, let's play that out and then go camping.
I want to, like, reach up, because I want to get on my tippy toes and, like, push a barb away, because that's the only way I'm taller than her.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, that's what a leader would do. The white wolf would lead the pack to victory.
She sure would, honey. You're doing great.
I'm doing great.
Oh my god.
This overconfidence is really building up, huh?
It's amazing.
So as night falls and the sun goes down, all the radiating rainbows that wind through the trees begin dissipating, and as the glass of the branches cools down, they all begin contracting, actually, because the glass like heats up and expands, and at night it cools down and contracts, and the entire forest starts making the most terrible sound. It sounds like basically a car crash that lasts 8 hours all night. So tell me how you all try to sleep and camp here. What do you talk about? Who has what duties? Like, let's just make this a scene as you all try to acclimate to this terrible environment.
Well, I mean, in terms of roles, I think Vindrass is very much just going to try and find as comfortable a place to sit up against a tree as possible, where she can see everyone else, so that she's not going to be sleeping. The least she can do is keep an eye on everyone. Maybe she can find like a little like rock or something to be sat on, so she can just be like, I can see what's up with everyone.
Lola and Stuart hug while they sleep because his belly is soft.
Khorton is going to go and lay and put his head in Vindrass's lap, and then he's going to cast sleep on himself so the noise doesn't bother him.
All right, so none of you are going to talk? You're just all going to immediately go to sleep?
I'm so tired. Never gonna say another word.
I'm gonna talk to Samuel Jackson.
Okay, I like that. So everyone else goes to sleep, and you start talking to this elemental who you simply cannot accept does not have the power of speech.
I'm gonna tell them about my day.
Okay.
How I was such a great leader and how I helped everybody. I blew up through a wall, and then we found him.
You're having this entire conversation of like, here's my day and here's how I'm doing, and Vindrass is just sat there like, you'll talk to the mascot head that cannot talk back to you, but me, no.
Maybe she's not talking to the head. Maybe she's actually thinking she's talking to somebody else.
Oh. Aww. Okay. Interesting.
Mystery!
I mean, it's in her character sheet.
Do you think any of us read that?
The other players on this call can't remember what happened last scene. Are you kidding me?
So I'll make it explicitly clear then. As she's finishing up the conversation, she's gonna kind of forget that someone is actually still awake, and she's gonna say, "I hope to see you tomorrow, Mom."
Oh, baby.
Oh.
And so you curl up with the mascot head. Lola has Stuart and Khorton has Vindrass. This is very interesting, actually. And you're all sleeping where you cleared away the glass pine needles. This stupid forest is making these terrible cracking noises as all the trees contract. But you eventually get used to it enough where you all sleep, except for Vindrass, who does not sleep. That's just a feature of the Greene.
Yeah. She spends the night just trying to work it. Just think about what's next. Trying to come up with some plan that isn't just follow the child.
As you're sitting there, Vindrass, you see in the distance further to the east a bright light suddenly flash and light up the forest. And because this isn't coming down from the sky and refracting through the trees, it's just something further into the forest. You get a clear, unobstructed look pretty deep. And it appears, I wouldn't give this to you if you had to sleep. This is actually pretty interesting because you would just happen to be a species that doesn't sleep. I didn't write this for you. But you see this light flash ahead of you, and it's actually two lights, like two giant eyes. I say giant, I mean huge.
No.
And the light comes out of them and lights up the whole forest. That's how big the eyes are.
Can I do some kind of roll to understand what I've just seen?
Yeah, I think this is the Arcana roll that Chris wanted so bad.
Oh, do it. I believe in you.
I'm glad someone does. 14.
So 14 isn't good enough to know exactly what's going on, but you remember Khorton said he heard a story about a demon that lived in the forest. And I'm going to say that if there is a demon, that's it. These two giant eyes that light up the whole forest. And this thing seems too big and too powerful to fight. That is actually what I'm going to give you because you got above average. I'm saying whatever this thing is, the four of you cannot take it in a fight.
Okay, and it's just there. It's not appears for a second and is gone, or doesn't appear to be circling or something. It's just there.
You see two bright lights, and then they hold for a couple seconds, and then they're gone. Actually, it's almost like the eyes open, look out over the forest, scan it, and then close, and the light goes with it.
Yeah, Vindrass is going to be careful to not move a fucking inch the rest of the night.
You're just standing there, like, just pants fully shitted.
I'm not here, never was, never will be, it's all good.
So everyone wakes up the next morning having healed, but not leveled up. Roll hit dice for that, and then talk to me about how you wake up in the morning, and Vindrass, if you share what you saw.
Oh, yeah, no, Vindrass is going to share what she saw, but she's going to share it to Khorton first, before anyone else.
So the stories were true. There is a demon in these forests.
Yeah, whatever it was looking over the forest, and it only did so for a second, and then it was just done.
Could I make could I make an Arcana check based on the information? Maybe with disadvantage.
Sure.
Yeah. 14. Which, wow, finally a crit.
Khorton, summoning all of your knowledge, you come to the conclusion that something this big and with this much power, seemingly, if it wanted you dead, it could have you dead. Like, if it can just light up the whole forest with its eyes, just purely with its gaze, it could have gotten you by now. So, you don't think if you go east, you will immediately be in any more danger? You just don't think that you should fight it. But you think maybe it couldn't hurt to actually get close and see more.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to give you basically is you don't need to immediately flip out.
If it shows up, play dead.
I want to establish that as Sabrina wakes up, right before she does, her body makes sounds like Star Wars.
What does that mean?
So, have you ever watched a video about a frozen lake in the morning?
Yeah.
And the sounds it makes? Sounds like Star Wars. Sounds like little laser beams and stuff going off.
Oh my god.
She's nice Chanasi, so that's what her body sounds like in the morning.
Well, I mean, that sound is almost assuredly lost in the sound of the forest heating up as the sun rises, as all the trees begin expanding and cracking.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. So once again, just the most terrible noise from this forest that should not exist. Lola, how's your morning?
I hate this place so much. It's so loud. There's so much glass. My little gecko feet get all scratched up. Can we go?
Are we ready,
Please?
White Wolf?
Yes, we're ready. Let's go to the city, Hoppy City. I don't know if the E is silent.
The E is silent.
I've only read it in books.
Yeah. So Sabrina has decided of the 3 locations east of the forest that the party can decide to go to. The one Sabrina wants to check is Harp City, Harpe, because she believes that's where the most people are, which will lead her to her mother, which is a secret we're not keeping anymore, I guess.
How many types of harps do they have in Harp City?
Well, it's a secret for everybody except Vindrass.
Yeah, Vindrass is the only one in character who knows, but I think she's gonna try and approach it once the journey has begun. Not to the whole group, but...
All right, it's time for a survival check for the group. You succeeded on the one from the library to the forest. Now, to make it through the forest, give me survival.
9.
Fail.
18.
Success.
20.
Success.
Hold on.
You don't have to turn it into the Ju-on grudge every time.
9.
Okay, actually, so the party succeeds again. Last week was just nothing but botches. This week has pretty much been all success. You avoided the encounter with the guards. You avoided the ditch. You didn't get cut up.
We had
you
the
know
same
about
on
the
first
eyes.
week as well. Have we gone all successes, all fails, all successes? Is that how this season's going to be?
I'm excited for next week when you inevitably run into the thing with the eyes.
Cool.
Oops.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Be fine.
So the party succeeds, so you begin crunching your way through the glass underbrush, being careful not to nick yourself. Most of the vines in here aren't particularly sharp because they're thick. They have dull, blunted edges. So you're not constantly being shredded as you walk. You can push things out of the way, Khorton with your sword, or with the bow, your crossbow, Lola, and you can kind of slowly make your way.
Stick.
Or with the axe baloney.
the axe bologna, and then of course Sabrina has her knife. So you're crunching, you're making your way through the forest, and because you succeeded, what I'm going to give you now is that you hear a noise off to one of your sides, and this noise is like a low, calm buzzing, like bzzz.
Oh no! Killer bees?
Murder hornets.
You succeeded, so this doesn't pose an immediate threat to you. It's something that you can choose to engage with.
Is that a nature check to try and determine what it is?
Yes.
12.
12?
4.
Boo.
13.
Yeah, 12, 12, and 13 is all above average. You shouldn't. All of you know that because the glass forest is made of glass and not carbon-based plants, they are not pollinated by bees. So even though this sounds exactly like a bee, it is not a bee, and it might be something else, which might be interesting to you.
It might be something else.
Yes, exactly. So at your
That
first,
we might be interested in?
yes, exactly. Oh God, this is gonna go on forever. I just realized what I've committed myself to. Fuck.
It's fine. If you just give us advantage a couple times, we'll drop it.
Yeah. We'll
Hey, Austin,
We'll
Austin.
save you. We'll
Austin.
spare you.
Austin.
Yes.
It's all gonna be okay.
No, I changed my mind about this plot point. There are no bees. Fuck off.
What is it? What is it then?
Do you go check?
Yeah.
Khorton, I guess, is the one who realizes that this is not a dangerous bee, and you kind of crunch ahead to off the beaten path for a second to peer
Off
through.
the
beach
beach
and
path?
Fuck my entire ass. And Khorton, you peer like through some glassy like palm fronds and into
You almost said between and
between.
God bless you.
Between.
And you see in this clearing a creature hanging from one of the glass branches.
Is it a glass sloth?
Lauren, do you want to be DM?
I knew it! I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it!
It is a bumble sloth.
Oh!
Part bumblebee, part sloth. All buzzing, all cute, all the time. It is roughly the size of a 3-toed sloth, except it is yellow and black and has a fuzzy belly like a sloth or like a bee. And it is kind of hanging there lazily, just limply out of the tree without a care in the world and buzzing softly.
Wait, so is this a 2-toed sloth or a 3-toed sloth? Because the 2-toed sloths are much cuter, I'm just saying.
Okay, it can be 2-toed if you want.
Because they have like the little piggy snaps.
Can we trade in our team pet for a new one this soon?
No, we each need our own. So Sabrina has one, I have one, you guys need one still. Right? That's how it works.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Did
don't
you
worry.
bring enough for
Khorton
the
already
class?
has one.
Bring enough mascots for the class?
So yeah, this bumble sloth is just hanging from the tree. It's not dangerous. It is in fact completely
Adorable.
totally vulnerable to any and everything.
Okay, I want to roll something to scratch it really good with my poking stick.
Animal handling. Literally, you're handling an animal.
Well,
She botched.
I botched.
You walk up and you poke it with your poking stick, and it just immediately falls out of the tree
Oh no!
and just lands on the ground pathetically and makes a sad noise.
Oh no! Somebody help! I'm too short to put him back.
Vindrass is gonna try and just gently comfort this thing.
I think I just made him sad.
Is it injured? Do I need to cast Cure Wounds on this poor creature?
That would certainly help.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay, how do you do that? You're a bard, so you walk over to this bumble sloth and you just start like whispering glossolalia to it?
Yes, and waving my hands over its body in a rhythmic manner.
Should make your
sort of-
pecs like do the peck thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the pecs are dancing, sure. Yeah.
The bumble sloth like reaches one arm very slowly and pathetically to your like pants leg and latches on Khorton.
Oh, he's like a little backpack. Put him on your back. It's a backpack.
Bzzz.
Khorton's gonna cradle this poor wretched creature
Oh, wretched.
and continue to minister to it and say, she didn't mean you any harm. She's just clumsy.
She knows not what she has done.
I just can't reach. I needed to use the stick. I thought it'd be good. I'm so small.
Okay, so mechanically speaking, the bumble sloth is essentially an item. In the same way, like a fighter would get a +2 sword, a ranger can get a wide variety of animals to equip into battle. You can bond with them, and they can basically be your Pokemon. You started with Stuart, who can attack with his spines. You have this bumble sloth, which if you basically like wear it into battle as it like grips onto you, you will slowly heal from its buzzing energy.
Put it on my back.
Does the ranger get to have multiple Pokemon at a time?
Or can I give it to my party?
So you're the ranger. Only you can bond with them so that if they die, they come back.
But then after I do the bonding, can I share?
You can only have one active at a time. So I mean, they won't go away. But if you want to have Stuart attacking, you can't use the bumble sloth. And if you want to use the bumble sloth, Stuart can't attack.
Okay, well, put it. Can I just like hold its little face, get snout to snout, and just look it in the eyes, and roll something.
So you're okay. You guys have been.
I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to bond with it.
Paint me this picture, okay? Because you injured this thing. Khorton is actually the one who's bonded with it. So I want everyone to come together and kind of figure out how this looks.
I'm sorry, little buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Well, here, I'm just gonna pet it really gently. Do you want some purified fruit? I'm gonna give him a snack. I'm gonna give it with my hand. He don't eat it. He loves berries, right?
Yeah. So the bumble sloth like reaches out and grabs it and begins moving it towards its mouth, but it's gonna take like 2 minutes, so you have plenty of time.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm just gonna like. I think I told you this earlier today, Austin. But everybody else, if you like slow blink at cats, apparently that's how they tell each other they care somehow. I don't know science. So I'm just gonna like. Put snout against snout while I'm waiting for this guy to eat. And I'm just going to keep like slow blinking over and over and over while petting it.
No, Khorton's perfectly happy to just continue to hold this thing while this happens. That's his contribution.
Vindrass is just very happily watching this loving bond form. This is a pure, wonderful thing.
Can I put my straw hat on it?
We
bond over fashion.
So I guess the first question is, what do you want to name the bumble sloth?
All right.
This is just the episode of naming party mascots. I did not expect the pulp elemental to even be a thing. I swear to God,
Greene.
I thought you were going to ice it.
Sloth Greene.
What?
Instead of Seth Greene, Sloth Greene.
Oh my God. Are they all going to be
covered in? Because also sloths are often covered in algae because they're so slow, so it works.
So are they all going to be celebrity parody names?
Well, they are now.
That's your thing this season? That's fun.
What I've decided right now in this moment.
Okay, so as you're making eye contact with this thing, snout to snout, you lower your straw hat onto it very slowly, and as it touches, this bond between you is actually like visible. There's an energy wave that passes between you powerfully, and there's like a shock wave that like blasts all the leaves and pine needles around you out of the clearing. Actually, everyone else dexterity saving throw, not to be hit by shrapnel from what's happening.
6.
Fail.
15.
She didn't warn you.
16.
Success. Success. So only Khorton, who's standing there holding the sloth at ground zero, takes 2 as a leaf like hits him in the leg.
Ow!
But so this wave happens. You are now bonded to Sloth Greene, Lola, and if he dies, you can regenerate him. But as this wave happens, there's like a moment of silence as the leaves settle and the trees like continue their cracking in the early morning sun, and then on the horizon, 2 giant eyes open up.
Oh, that's never happened before.
And are just pouring light across the forest, and they sweep through it, so slowly, carefully looking at whatever that sound was, and then they close.
Yeah, everyone, I probably should have told you about that by now.
Wait, you knew about the eyes?
I mean, I saw them last night.
Does the eye thing talk?
I was afraid to ask in case it picked a fight.
I was afraid you'd ask.
If it has such big eyes, maybe it's seen a lot of things.
I don't think that's how eyes work.
Never mind, it was a stupid thought anyway. Let's just go to Hoppy City.
No, oh my god. And she's gonna do this now with the self-loathing. Oh god. This is why I'll never have a child.
She is not even a teenager yet.
Oh, this is why I'll never have a child. Other than Stuart. And Sloth Greene.
All right, so the party succeeded on their survival roll, so you can continue east unthreatened. But now everyone knows about the eyes.
Yeah. As we continue on, Vindrass is definitely going to try and sort of find a moment to just talk to Sabrina away from the rest of the party. And go, so, how are you liking being the leader?
It's good. I'm a good leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone listens to me and no one bullies me and locks me in a closet.
I mean, we've definitely not done that. So, about where we're heading, for definitely not trying to find anything in particular.
Yeah, that's what it's for anybody to do whatever they want there.
Last night, I don't know if you remembered that I don't sleep.
I did not.
No, so, yeah, you are looking for something specific, someone specific.
Maybe.
Do you want to talk to us about that? You know, seeing as we're doing the whole travelling in a team thing.
Well, I think I can trust you. I'm just looking for my mom.
Is your mum, I'm guessing, royalty?
No, not really. The only royalty is the God King.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen her in years. I don't really remember what she looks like, but she'd be wearing a necklace just like the one I have. She wouldn't take it off because she's waiting for me to find her.
How long have you been separated?
And a long time, lots of years. I was real young last time I remember her.
Do you know she's here specifically, or are you just going there because that's where there's lots of people?
If she's out there, she's probably around a lot of people. That way, people would know where she is, and I'd be able to find her easier. I know that's what she's thinking.
I hope you're right.
Why wouldn't I be? Don't you think she's waiting for me?
I think she's probably waiting for you. But life's not always as simple as being exactly where you want to be, exactly when you want to be there. You know.
She'll be there. I know it. That's how all the stories go.
That is how all the stories go.
So we got a Vindrass and Sabrina scene. Khorton and Lola, you haven't talked much. What are you talking about? You just had an animal experience.
I'm pretty small. So until I need him, would you put him on your back like a backpack?
Oh, sure.
How could you send him look at that face? The snout looks like a little piggy.
I'm
gonna press Sloth Greene's face into your face.
I'll be honest.
Smooch him, kiss him. Give him a smooch.
Khorton tries to kiss the thing. It's very clear that he is just not into this and simply attempting to placate Lola to get her off his back.
What do you guys think of this idea? So it has a two-toed sloth's snout, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you go in to kiss it, the snout like extends like a bee's proboscis a little bit.
Oh yeah, give me that.
And it just gives you like a snout lick, but not with its tongue. It's just its snout, like an elephant's trunk. And then the snout like retracts back to normal sloth proportions.
Wow.
Perfection.
Is that Junji Ito enough for us?
Yep, that's... Khorton is less comfortable with all of this now. He has the sloth climb onto its shoulders and it can drape down his neck or whatever from there. I don't, frankly, I'm good with neither animals or children.
Well, you better be good with animals, because we got 2 now. I got 2 now. I guess you could leave and then have nothing to do with us, but, you can't take the animals, so. They're mine. They're my babies. But not like actual babies, because parenthood is terrifying.
Do you think Lola should be able to store them like Pokemon in like a soul Pokeball? I considered it, but it seemed a lot.
They like it? I feel no, I don't think they'd like it.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree with me. We're on the same page. I just want to put that out there that I thought about it.
Pikachu doesn't like being inside a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Khorton and Lola are bonding over this animal. You've succeeded on your survival check, so I want to give the party a heads up that they hear a very sapient sound of voices somewhere in the forest as they're making their way east.
Is it ghosts?
What does it sound like?
You don't understand the language, but it sounds like there are people out here, multiple people talking in low voices. You would have, if you hadn't rolled your survival, you wouldn't have been able to hear it over the sound of the trees expanding, but you can, so that's what I'm giving you.
So Khorton's going to cast Comprehend Languages.
Oh, fuck me. All right, yeah, sick. Yeah, Khorton, you cast Comprehend Languages, and you can hear the people whispering, and you hear them say, "Go around the side. I'll set up an ambush. Give me the bow.
No!
Get a higher ground." They're planning to attack you. Does Comprehend Language give you what languages, or can you just automatically understand language?
Literal meaning of any spoken language you hear, but no, it would not. That does not suggest that I understand what the language is that's spoken.
Great. So what could have been an ambush is instead you knowing full well ahead there are people here, and even knowing on top of that they're preparing. So you have like the most possible forewarning. This could not be better for you. What an episode for Season 7 team, which doesn't have a collective name, I realized.
Yeah, well, we'll figure one out.
Yeah. For new listeners, usually we get like a name like the Losers or the Furies or something. We have a name for the team eventually. We don't yet, but
We'll get there.
So what do you all do?
All right, Khorton holds up a hand to indicate to everyone to stop moving. And we're about to be attacked.
What? From where?
And he points in the direction of the voices, and moves with his other hand to indicate that they're going to try to surround from the other side as well.
Can I throw an ice knife now?
Sure, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm going to throw an ice knife where he's pointing.
Sick. Cool. I don't think you need to make a roll. So what happens is Khorton tells you there's going to be an ambush, and you summon a giant knife made of ice and just fling it into the trees, or it explodes, because that's how that spell works.
Yep, it shoots out into shards of ice afterwards.
So you just blow the top off a tree. I mean, it's made of glass, so it literally shatters in an explosion. Shards go everywhere. You hear a shriek. They were not expecting that, and people begin running. You've startled them. This is on. I'm actually interested. What do the rest of you do before I say what the people in the trees do? Because they were not expecting this. They have like lost a round to surprise, I'll say.
Oh yeah, like we were expecting that.
I think I just like shoot a bow in that direction, right?
Okay. Vindrass is gonna fire a guiding bolt that way.
Okay, so rather than doing all this rolling because it's a disadvantage, you can't see them, here's what I'm just going to say. Basically, the entire team opens up on the forest, like as if you all had magical AKs. You just start spraying the trees. You blow like an entire copse of trees just away. You guys are only level 3, but like you're still pretty cool, right? Like a level 1 adventurer is stronger than your average townsfolk. So level 3, you're not to be messed with, and you just annihilate a stretch of this forest. And most of the people flee, except you hear one voice call out from the rubble as these trees are falling, branches are crashing, the underbrush, which is made of glass, is shattering. This is terrifying. You've done a really scary, cool thing.
Khorton is standing there in the midst of all of this chaos with his arms still upraised in the hold position.
And you hear a voice call out and says, well, you've got some salt to you, huh?
There's a lot of salt.
You've got some not surrounding us to ya.
I wasn't expecting such grit. Usually the people come in here and they surrender immediately. Very spicy. Very spicy.
I order to know who you are.
You're ordering your brain to know who they are.
I order to know who you are.
He said, I order you to know who you are.
The voice says, the name's Zur, Z-U-R.
Why were you attacking us?
I want your stuff, dumbass.
That's not right. You're not allowed to take things from people.
It's my stuff now.
No, it's not.
We'll see about that.
I want to cast sleep on him.
You cannot see this thing yet, so you need to get it out of wherever it is before you can do that.
Okay.
Come out and fight me, you coward.
Intimidation, it sounds like?
Yes. I am a large and intimidating lady. Not small.
Show yourself and we will resolve this.
15.
So Lola, you said come out and show yourself?
I said, why don't you come out here and fight me, you coward?
Ooh, spicier and spicier. I can't wait to meet you. And you see, actually, Zur drop down from above the canopy, holding onto a branch by his feet, because he is an anthropomorphic flying fox.
Oh, he's Batman. He's Batman!
Flying foxes are kind of bat.
He's Batman.
There are a lot of anthropomorphic animals in D&D. Vindrass is an anthropomorphic mantis. Lola is an anthropomorphic gecko. This is an anthropomorphic bat. A new species to the Dice Funk universe. There are anthropomorphic bats in D&D, but I didn't like any of their lore, so I made my own. Zur is one of them. They are called Merciel. And so this long, almost like wolf-like body, orange and brown fur, very like keen predator eyes, like very like beady and looking at you, a long snout with very sharp teeth and enormous wings, but mostly like humanoid as he hangs from a branch above you, and he's like looking down on you, teeth bare but smiling. Like, I can't wait to see what you all have in store. This is exciting.
I want to cast Charm Person.
Uh-huh.
On the Batman.
Batman!
On Batman.
Mm-hmm. Man bat.
Yeah. So I attempt to charm a humanoid that I can see within range and has to make a wisdom saving throw to not be charmed by me, basically.
All right. Normally you're in combat, so I would say disadvantage, but because he's actually so impressed by your ability to scare all of his fellow attackers, he's going to be just regular instead of disadvantage. It cancels out. That is a botch. Oh no, not again.
Another member.
Hey guys.
Another party
Hey guys,
member.
we got another friend.
Stop befriending my enemies.
Roll better, bitch.